All right, let's jump right into this explainer. I am absolutely pumped because today, we're going to completely flip how you look at your business. We're putting on the hat of an AI startup founder. And look, whether you're running a massive corporation, a small agency, or a solo creator business, the way we work is fundamentally changing. Today, we're unpacking some brilliant source material that outlines exactly how to build a self-running business. We're going to break down the 5 layers of an AI-first company. So get comfortable, focus in, and let's start leveling up.
Okay, let's dive into this. Listen to this bold prediction. In 5 years, the most valuable companies in the world will run on AI as a closed information loop. Think about what that actually means for a second. It points to a near future where absolutely all of your data, your Zoom calls, your team emails, your strategy meetings, your content performance, lives entirely inside an AI ecosystem. Why? Because when AI has all the context, it can act, iterate, and help you make decisions astronomically faster than we could ever do manually. So, what exactly are we building here? Let's look at this definition. An AI-first company is a business structured so that everyday data and decisions are automatically captured, queryable, and acted upon by AI to create a self-running loop. Notice the word structured in there. A lot of people try to skip right to the shiny stuff, right? They just deploy a bunch of chatbots and autonomous agents without any foundation. And you know what that causes? Absolute chaos. To do this right, we've got to build this systematically, layer by layer.
Here is our roadmap for the explainer. We're going to build this layer by layer. Starting with layer 1, our queryable knowledge base. Then layer 2, actionable agents. Layer 3 is scheduled automations. Layer 4 is vibe coding. And finally, layer 5, closing the loop.
Kicking things off with layer 1, queryable knowledge base.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we actually talk to AI. This layer is your bedrock. Without organizing your basic data by channel in a secure cloud database like Google Drive or whatever you use, any agents you add later will just multiply your disorganization. Before we get the AI to act, we have to teach it how to listen. And the traditional way of doing this, typing out those highly structured, rigid prompts, is actually backwards. AI expert Ali Miller notes that the absolute best way to prompt AI is actually just to complain to it via voice. Imagine you have a business problem. Instead of typing out this perfectly structured prompt, just talk to your AI about the problem. It's so much more natural, and you give it like 10 times more context when you just speak. Top founders are using tools like Whisperflow, which is amazing because it understands multiple languages flawlessly. Or Trint. With Trint, you can literally just hit record on your Apple Watch while walking around a conference and have the AI capture and process your thoughts immediately.
Okay, so once you're capturing all that context, you need to store it so your AI agents can actually query it. But we're not just talking about storing spreadsheets and metrics here. To truly act like an AI founder, you must inject your business strategy and your personal goals directly into the training data. We're talking about a dedicated file for your tone of voice, a file detailing your exact business strategy for the year. Get this, you even need a file for your personal goals and your constitution, like the core principles of how you make decisions. And my absolute favorite, an anti-AI file. This is literally a document that tells the AI what not to sound like because nobody wants their brand to sound like a generic robot. By throwing these deeply personal, non-traditional assets into your database, your AI truly begins to mirror your own brain.
Moving right along to layer 2, actionable agents.
So your data is beautifully organized. Now, we teach the AI your business so deeply that it literally stops needing you to re-explain things. We do this using a very specific hierarchy of instructions, usually utilizing desktop tools like Claude's app that can read your local files. Here's how it flows. First comes the master file. This is where the AI reads your overall context, your voice, and those business goals we just talked about. Second is the subfolder task. Let's say you have a YouTube production team. The AI reads the step-by-step instructions specifically for creating a thumbnail or writing a script. And finally, the human prompt. That's just your specific daily request. Because the AI passes through those standard foundational checks every single time before producing an output, the result is wildly accurate on the very first try. You never have to repeat the basics again.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when you give an agent the right context. The results are just staggering. In one test, using a tool called the Hexfeld connector for Claude, a founder provided just one single prompt. From that, the AI autonomously analyzed 5 past newsletters, picked the strongest hook, drafted 3 separate video scripts, and then generated 3 complete 15-second videos. It did this entire end-to-end production cycle, making editorial decisions along the way, in just 4 minutes. The founder was literally on a phone call while the AI produced ready-to-publish creatives. One prompt in, finished creatives out. No human in the middle.
Next up, layer 3, scheduled automations.
So what if agents worked without us even asking? 75%. That massive number right there is the amount of the work week that a guest producer in our source material actually got back. Imagine reclaiming 75% of your time. Let's look at exactly how she pulled that off using a scheduled automation.
This producer was spending like 80% of her time just chasing down high-profile guests who hadn't responded. So they built a guest outreach agent. Now, every single Wednesday, without anyone clicking a button, this agent just runs. It reads the database of declined guests, it independently scans the web for news from the past 7 days looking for fresh hooks, like maybe a guest just released a new book, it scores those guests on 8 specific criteria to see if it's the right time to reach back out, and then it drafts a perfectly personalized, fresh outreach message. The producer just reviews it and hits send. Her time spent on non-responders dropped from 80% down to just 5%. That is the true power of a scheduled automation.
Bringing us to layer 4, vibe coding. Let's move to and see how this builds. Vibe coding basically means using AI to build your own custom tools and dashboards without needing to know traditional programming. And it leads to this really critical question. How visible are we in AI search? Look, traffic is massively shifting away from traditional Google search and moving toward AI chatbots. People are asking Claude or ChatGPT for recommendations now. Well, the founder in our source realized that when users asked chatbots for podcast recommendations, their highly successful show wasn't showing up at all, just invisible. This single question sparked a massive, month-long company rebuild.
They used vibe coding to audit their site, and the contrast was honestly shocking. What a human sees is a perfectly fine, well-designed website, but what an AI crawler like GPT bot sees, almost complete invisibility. The code was standard HTML, sure, but it was completely missing machine-readable JSON LD schema. And all those valuable podcast transcripts? They were hidden behind JavaScript, which means the AI bot simply could not read or access them at all. So they vibe-coded a dedicated site. They built fully static episode pages using pre-rendered HTML that bots can actually digest. They pulled all those transcripts out from behind the JavaScript. They even went in and updated their Wikidata entries in 11 different languages. They changed the founder's title from vlogger to podcast host and entrepreneur just so the AI knew exactly who she was. The result? Their AI search visibility doubled, tracked directly via PKI. This is such a vital long-term investment. If you want your business to be recommended by the AI tools of tomorrow, you have absolutely got to build your digital presence so machines can read it today.
And we've reached the final boss, layer 5, closing the loop.
This is where human decisions automatically feed back into the AI system to drive continuous iteration. Right now, business data usually gets lost in chat apps. But in a closed loop, it looks like this. At moment 1, a founder makes a strategic decision or gives feedback in a Telegram chat. At moment 2, the AI silently captures and structures that conversational data right into the knowledge base. At moment 3, the AI independently analyzes the weekly metrics and realizes, hey, a reel under 5 seconds vastly outperformed everything else. Now here's the magic at moment 4. Instead of the founder reading a report and messaging a manager, the AI automatically drafts a brief to the video editor telling them to double down on short reels. It bypasses the need for a human middle manager entirely. The data directly dictates the priorities in real time.
So, the crucial point is, this requires a major mindset shift regarding the cost of AI. A lot of business owners see their API costs or token usage creeping up and they completely panic. But high credit usage isn't a cost, it is a metric of effort. It's a metric of automation replacing traditional slow human coordination. The source mentions a contact at OpenAI who used 1 billion tokens in a single week. 1 billion! When you see those numbers, you have to realize that investing heavily in automation and API credits is what creates a vastly leaner, faster team. It frees up your mental energy from managing moving parts so you can focus on real strategy.
Which leaves us with one final provocative question. Are you an AI founder? Honestly, it doesn't matter if you are a creator, a CEO, or an agency owner. You have to break your own priors about what is possible. By adopting this 5-layer closed loop, by building that queryable knowledge base, setting up actionable and scheduled agents, vibe coding your solutions, and closing the loop, you set the absolute pace for your entire industry. So start documenting your decisions, organize your data, and let the AI amplify the parts of your business that don't need a human. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and I seriously challenge you to start building your AI-first company right now. You've got this.